Thank you for joining us on the show today. Give a warm welcome to my friend, Helene Cronin. She is joining us today. She's a story singer, a songwriter who writes with authenticity. Like, I don't even know if I've heard anybody write like she does, and really raw life detail. Her songs are amazing. She's rooted in Texas and she has an active presence here in Nashville. And I think she's been on a fascinating journey, and you're going to move forward from this episode. She's going to spur you onward in whatever it is your dream is. So, welcome, Helene. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you, Julie. I'm so glad to be here. It's a privilege. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad to see you. And I was thinking back. I've known you and we've had connections for a long time.
Mhm.
And your mom was a dear mentor of mine.
I forgot
And
about that.
I know, I did. I had a moment on the way here and I was
Oh.
like, "Oh, wow. God, how interesting and wonderful
Mhm.
to be here in this moment with you." So, I
Thank
am
you.
glad to have you. And I thought back on your life, and I think you started with music young like I did.
Mhm.
Take us back, because I know you had a different career. Take us back and help us
Yes.
know, like, what was that crossroad like when you said, "Okay, music, this is it. This is what I wanna do."
Yeah, I think of this as having been a very winding road for me because I always loved music. I remember being, 8 or 9 years old and waking up in the middle of the night and asking my mom if I could have permission to get up and write a poem down. And
Oh.
she said yes. And so I got up and I wrote that poem and I wish I had it. I don't know what it was,
Oh.
but, I think I loved words. I grew up in
Mhm.
a household where we were taught to read and we loved to read. That was a big thing. But music took hold. I took piano from the time I was first or second grade all the way up through college. I don't perform on piano very much anymore, um, or at all, but picked up guitar probably when I was 12 or 13, and my older brother had a guitar. And when he was gone, I would go in and play his guitar and teach myself chords. And then
Mm.
I began writing songs, late high school, early college. And one of the first songs that I ever wrote and played for people, I did not come to this because I wanted to be in front of people and get up on stages. I came to it because of songs and songwriting.
Oh.
And so the first song I wrote, it was for a girl who went to my college. We were all freshmen. She was going to leave and go to another college where her boyfriend played baseball. And I wrote her a goodbye song. And so we all gathered in the basement of our freshman dorm and I played this song and everybody cried. And I think I was
Oh my
struck by,
word.
ooh, I can do this. I have the power to do this. I could put words together and music together. And that joining of words and music and the power it has to move people. I think that's what hooked me. It took me a long time to get to where I am now. From then on, I never stopped writing songs, but I wanted to be a mom. I went to college. I got a business degree. I worked for a few years in banking doing human resources. And then we had children, and I was raising children. And people were saying, you need to go to Nashville. Because I had put out 3 records of contemporary Christian music back home in Dallas, and I was leading women's retreats and worship and very involved in all of that. And they kept saying, you need to go to Nashville, go to Nashville. So I started going a couple of times in the very late 90s. Um, and then I quit. I just was like, this is too hard. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to network. It was just too much. And my kids were young at the time. And then in 2004, I had this day where I sat at my kitchen table with my head in my hands and I was crying. And I remember hearing this voice that just said, you're meant for more than this. And it was the nudge I needed, that plus another nudge another year or two later that said, you never did finish your work in Nashville. You need to go back. And I was like, and I started coming back. And I think my first trip back was in 2004. And then I made a few more, and then 2005. And then I just met people and started co-writing, and that lit a fire. And I began to learn how other people do this thing. I already had a pretty good level of songwriting craft, but you come to Nashville and you realize if you're not writing here, you kind of don't totally understand songwriting. And so I got my education by coming here and writing with other people. And I've just kind of never looked back. I mean, the kids are out of the house. I am here every month now, even though my husband and I still live in Dallas and I'm based out of there and I play around Texas a lot. I am in Nashville pretty much every month for at least a week out of every month, writing, recording, playing shows, playing the Bluebird when I can, and just loving what this winding road. It's taken me a while to get where I am, and I just kind of, I don't care. I love where I am
Oh,
right now.
okay, I love that. That's so encouraging because I think so often, no matter what we're doing or where
Mm-hmm.
we are in life,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like it's funny that you just said it the way you did because the last few days I've had some of those moments of I'm trying to make myself be in the moment and be in the day every day. And
Mm-hmm.
I had a few moments of, oh, but wait, what about?
Yeah.
And then I started finding that I was doing the what about again. And I was
Yeah.
like, no,
Mm-hmm.
no. And so I love that picture of a winding road because you
Mm-hmm.
don't drive fast on a winding road.
No, and I've probably made an art of of taking the long way to get to things, but it's funny. I've been using different language that is really helping me right now. I used to talk with my friends about we're chasing this dream, we're
Mhm.
chasing a dream, and it sounds so cool and romantic. And who gets to live life like that? Well, very few people. But chasing a dream is absolutely exhausting, and you never know if you've caught it. And that is a big problem with the what ifs. So like, what if I had done this sooner? What if I had done that? What if I had met this person? I mean, I do have a lot
Mhm.
of those kind of moments. And when you're chasing a dream, you can feel like you missed it. And the results are not up to you if you're chasing a dream. So I am changing the language to I am walking in passion. I am living from the passion that I have in my heart to do what I think I'm created to do. And when I think that way, then I'm like, everything makes sense. The pace makes sense. What I'm
Mhm.
doing makes sense. Every day that I get up and I do what I do, I have accomplished a goal, and I don't have to worry about, well, there's this ethereal thing out there that I'm never going to catch. I can't do that
Mm.
anymore. So that language has really helped me go, no, this long winding road has been me just walking faithfully one step after another. Times where I've been really afraid, times where I haven't wanted to step out, times where I was scared to get on stage. All of that, all of that has led up to where I am now, and um, I just feel like I'm doing what God's created me to do.
I love that because it's not a lack of passion because I can hear your passion. It feels very freeing and it feels like
Mhm.
you have embraced the uncertainty,
Yep.
which is such a hard thing to do in life.
Mhm.
So thank you for sharing that because I think anybody in their life wherever they are, they can have fear, uncertainty, what's next, what's
Mhm.
now, what am I walking into? Because we're all walking into the unknown all the time,
Every day.
right? And so I love that wisdom that you just shared that took a while for you to get there.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's like you have those just little epiphanies overnight that don't take very long and you go, "Oh, wait."
Yeah.
But I love the picture of the winding.
Yeah.
That's a really good visual to give us to walk away from this with
Mhm.
because winding means you're still moving,
Mhm.
but you're just moving at a different pace. And instead
Yeah.
of chasing, I like that chasing the dream.
Mhm.
When I hear that, sometimes I find myself lacking because I'm like, I need to move harder and do more because doesn't our
Yeah.
culture do that to us?
Yes.
It says,
Yes.
hey, if you're not totally stressed out all the time and looking for
Mhm.
more and chasing, there's
Mhm.
something wrong with
Go,
you.
go,
You don't
go.
really like it or you're not
Yeah.
really trying to do it
Or you're not good enough. I
or
mean,
you're
you
not good
haven't
enough.
yeah,
Oh,
I mean that's a big thing is, why hasn't this happened or why hasn't that happened yet or my dream is so far out there it's an impossibility. And no, everything that I really want is in reach and it's just gradually happening. And to me, the winding road is just like I had to do other things with my life. I had to help earn a living for a while, or put
mm,
kids through college, or raise kids. I mean, that is full time for
yeah.
me, or
Yeah.
was. And so it's just like there have been other things that have been worthy of my time and attention. And the fact that I get to come in now and do what I do and do it with the people. I mean, I love the people that I get to sit in a
Mhm.
room and write with. And just we share life and we're writing about life and sometimes a song is my story, sometimes it's their story, and it just doesn't matter what we want at the end of the day or the end of 4 writing sessions on one song, whatever it
Yeah.
takes.
Yeah.
We want a song that we're proud of and that we just can't wait to get up and play for other people.
And
So,
I love that people pour their life into a
oh,
song together, and there's that teamwork.
yes.
And I want to do maybe a little bit of a sidebar as a female, and some of the messaging that we get. I don't know if it's you and I were both raised in the South
Mhm.
and in Texas, and I don't know if it's the culture around the area or if it's just females in general. But I think sometimes as females, when we want to pursue a dream, it can feel like we have to do it all all at once.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's the messaging that I've
right.
heard, and or maybe I've put that pressure on myself that,
Mhm.
oh, if I want it, I got to try to do it all at once. And I love how you were just like, I embraced. I got
Mhm.
married. I wanted kids. I did that.
Mhm.
I had a career that
I
I needed to do.
had multiple careers, multiple jobs.
Yeah.
You took up real estate for a while. I really, when I have a lot of young women that I write with, and some of them are getting married and they're having babies, and I'm so frustrated because I can't write songs right now. And I said, you know what? Life is seasons. I mean, you'll
Hmm.
go through seasons where, and I've gone through seasons where I really didn't pick up my pen and my guitar very much, but it always came back. And I think sometimes you have to relax your grip on all the shoulds and all the things that everybody
Hmm.
tells you you should be or you should look like or you should, where you should be investing your time. It's exhausting, and I think life, the more you live life and have a real life, the more reality will come out in your songs. If you're living in a
Mm.
songwriter bubble where all you do is you're hanging around songwriters all the time, you're not ever out there, you don't have relationships, it's going to be a lot of manufactured stuff. And I feel like what
Hmm.
some of us bring to the writing room is I've lived, I've
Hmm.
experienced a lot, I have felt heartbreak, I have,
Hmm.
just things that I am out in the real world, and I bring all of that to the world of making up stuff. And
I
it's a
love
nice
that.
it's a nice um it's a nice crossroads. It's good.
Yeah. That's good encouragement for all of us.
Yep.
Um, I I love hearing that, and I keep saying it's never too late
Mhm.
to start something or to try
Yeah.
something. And I think one of the best things we can do is embrace our life where it is, and
Mhm.
then in another season or at another time,
Mhm.
bring all of that experience and wisdom to it,
Mhm.
because it as we look back, we can see, oh, I was being prepared for this,
Absolutely.
and I had no idea
Mhm.
because we don't know.
Well, it's really true. We don't know. And I think when I started, so 2013 is when I started coming every month to Nashville.
Okay.
Because I remember in 2012, I was doing real estate from about 2008 to 2012. And I remember telling my husband, if I don't ever have to stop songwriting, but if I want to pursue the Nashville piece at the level I want to pursue it,
Mhm.
which means getting other artists to record my songs and hoping for the kind of success that this town is known for, I got to be there every month, and I got to be there for a week out of every month, because before that I was just making, maybe 4 or 5 trips a year. And he said, that's what you need to do then. And he's
Mhm.
my biggest supporter. I mean, I could
That's
not
amazing.
do this if he weren't willing to let me fly off up here and come do my thing. But there was somewhere I was going with that. Oh yeah, and just deciding that I had to be here every month, and that's where the walking in passion has helped me, in that some of the things that I wanted in 2013 and the people that I was hoping would record my songs, a lot of those people have had their peak and rolled off, and now I'm having teeny bit of success. I had my first Cody Johnson cut
Mhm.
a year and a half ago in November when he put out his Leather Deluxe album. I had a song on that, and I have a song that's coming up on April 10th. It'll be released on a major female artist that I never could have
I didn't know that.
imagined. No, I have been
Ooh,
very quiet about it because I don't even want to say who it is,
okay.
but it's a big deal. And when
That's
that song
awesome.
is on that album,
Congratulations.
um, so I feel like, okay, all the people that I was hoping I would have success with, artist wise, I lost out on that. But look, I feel like I'm on the cutting edge of the now
Mm.
people, the now artists. And I couldn't have predicted that way back
Yeah.
in 2013. All I knew was that little world. And I think God's just been expanding that and going, no, okay, it's never too late. And
Yeah. So
Just
tell
keep
I
after
love
it.
hearing how supportive your husband is.
Hmm.
I knew he was, but I
Yeah.
love you saying that
Yep.
and sharing that.
Yeah.
What is another way so as you've walked through pursuing this dream,
Mhm.
and I know you have a passion for all of it, and you would probably still be doing it even if you just
Absolutely.
sat at home and wrote songs and did
Hmm.
nothing with them. But you are still pursuing and you're being persistent and
Hmm.
getting out there and coming. That's exhausting. I've gone back and forth a lot, and it's hard to
Yeah.
feel almost it's almost fractured in a way
A little bit.
where you have a world here and a world
Hmm.
there.
Yes.
So how do you what keeps you motivated, I guess, to keep doing that? Because I know a lot of people who can't live in Nashville.
Hmm.
They're trying to pursue that dream. They
Yeah.
live somewhere else, and I see it all the time online too. People saying, "Oh, I wish if I could live there." And so, what's a word that you would give somebody just to keep after
Hmm.
the dream, especially with music, if they can't be in what we consider like the hub of
Yeah.
connection?
I just think you have to do the best that you can with the way your life is structured right now.
Mm.
I've managed to make it work. And there are times when I'm driving home from Nashville. Back when I used to, for 18 years, I drove back and forth. And I would be driving home and I'm so glad to get out of town. And then other times, like, everything's happening in Nashville and I'm not there.
Oh yeah.
It's very, you have to get comfortable with this is what I'm able to do right now. And really, in some ways, I have the best of both worlds because I
Mhm.
get to be here. I own a place here. I get to sit down and write with amazing people that live here. And then I get to take a little break and I get to go
Mhm.
back to Texas and I get to play around Texas and be in front of real crowds and house concerts and then I can come back up here and I can write the next batch of songs. And I think one of the things that keeps me excited is knowing there's always another song out there. There's another
Mhm.
song that I'm going to fall in love with and name an album after or that's going to become a crowd favorite and that I living a creative life is I don't know. I just feel very fortunate to get to do it. I don't even know how to express what I feel for it.
That's amazing. Yeah, I used to think, "Oh, we have a limited amount of words and ideas." And now I'm like,
Mm.
"No, we
Yeah.
don't." There's
Yeah.
always a new
Yeah.
idea or a new experience. And I think too, that's where the experience comes in. And it doesn't even have to be your own, right? You can
No.
hear Have you ever done that? Have you ever heard someone else's even overheard a conversation like in the airport or somewhere? I'm just
Hmm.
making that up.
Yeah.
And then thought, "Man, that'd make a great song."
Hmm. Yes, I have. Well, I have an airport conversation song, but it was me in the conversation, and then I have another. I just I don't often overhear stuff, but I don't know, sometimes I'll look at book titles or
Uh-huh.
sometimes just in conversation with my co-writers, we all have our list of titles. Oh, this would make a good song someday. And
Mhm.
sometimes you go through that list and it's not nothing jumps out, but it's in the conversation that somebody
Mhm.
says something, you go, "Oh, let's write that." And it's just always spontaneous, and I love that.
So I know you play different venues and you
Mhm.
also do a lot of house concerts and
Mhm.
things like that. What is your favorite place to play to be engaged with the
Oh.
audience, and or what does that look like for you when you are communicating
Hmm.
with your song? What does that look and feel like for you?
Well, it's favorite place is probably the Bluebird
Mm.
Cafe, but everybody loves to play there. I remember one time when this was early in my career when I had just earned the right to book the Bluebird, and I had a friend here with me, and I was really nervous about playing that day, and I had my round of friends that were going to be with me, but I was pacing around, and my friend that had come up from Dallas and was staying with me said, "Helene, just show up with what you have to offer tonight."
Oh,
And that simple sentence has gotten me through so much where I just go, it's tonight. It's just be present tonight. Just offer, show up with who you are tonight and what you have to offer. And it completely changed my attitude toward performing. I'm not performing anymore. Yes, I want to put on a good show and I want to be funny or I want to make people cry or whatever, but I'm not there to impress anybody or to get the applause. I am there to say, here's what I've learned. Here's something to offer that maybe you haven't thought about, or here's something that mattered to me, and sometimes I can't get through the song because it makes me cry, and I hope you feel something. I mean, it's all that audience connection. And so that's more what I am dialed into now. I have to be able to see my audience a little bit too. Like, I don't like to be too far from them. I don't like the room to be too dark where I can't see anybody. I need to look out and see eyes and faces and connection, and that makes me feel like we're having a conversation.
I love that.
Thank
I
you.
love that's amazing the way you do that. What a nugget of truth and help for people who, yeah, I think it also helps when people, I've noticed, because there's the way I like to go hear music here. I go to writers rounds all the time. And then I have people who come into town and go, "Oh, let's get tickets to some big." I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
that's not what I do." You go and
Yeah.
have a great time.
Right.
I want to go. I want to hear the heart of the
Yeah.
songwriter.
Yeah.
I want that connection. I want that smaller venue, and I love that you enjoy it too. And I try to make sure I stay engaged too, because I'm noticing the more things that open up and the more people that come to town who may not know what a writer's round is all about.
Yeah.
And I actually, not long ago, someone was being very loud, and I just finally, very quietly, I was trying to be really nice, and I said, "We can't hear, and we're trying to hear the stories." And thankfully, she took it well.
I was going to ask.
I was like,
You
I
didn't break
can't.
out in a bar fight,
I
did you?
know, right? I was like, I can't. I didn't want to let that happen either for who was
Right.
on stage.
Right. And that
So,
happens a lot here in Nashville. I mean, we play bars, and one of the things I have learned, and I just have to remind myself, there's a certain venue that I play a lot when I come to town, and it's not like Bluebird where they will shush you up. It's like it's a bar, and they're selling food and
yes,
drink, and some people are there to listen, and some are there because they're from out of town and they're partying. And I've just learned there's always somebody listening. There's always, and I try
Love
to
that.
find their eyes. I try to find who's out there paying attention, and just zero in on them. And then they're the ones that come up to me after the show and say, "I loved your songs," or things that make me know that there was a connection. Maybe the room was noisy, but there's somebody that needed something that
Oh
one of
yeah.
us up there had
Oh
to
yeah.
say. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
I think you're right. I love that you look for that.
I do. I have to. I mean, it's like, they're out there. I'm going to find them.
Do you okay, so after you're done, do you enjoy it when people come up and give you feedback?
I love it.
That's
And
awesome.
it's not because I'm needy. We all want a little validation, but it's not because I need it. It's because I like to hear that my story and the details of my story, that they plug their own story into it. And that's so amazing. I never get tired of hearing how that happens. That song that you sang about your mom, I just lost my mom. And whatever it is in a particular song that helped them go, "Oh, I heard myself in that." That's just the most beautiful thing about songwriting to me, is the universality of individual experience.
I think you're right. I think we all need to know we're not walking through this world alone. And I think that you have such an incredible connection with your songs and helping us all know that. And I know I'm excited because you're going to do a song. I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
what you're going to play. So why
Oh.
don't you first of all, thank you so much for being on today. I've so enjoyed it and just am going to walk away so encouraged. And I know that anybody who listens will as well. And thank you for keeping on that winding road
man.
and inspiring all of us.
That winding uphill road, I should
That winding
say.
uphill. Sometimes uphill, sometimes downhill.
Yeah,
So
no,
thank you for doing that and for
thank you.
showing us what it means to just keep pursuing, not chasing, and being in the
Right.
day and being in the moment. So you're going to play us out, but I want to hear about the song you're going to play for us.
Oh gosh, well I can do, and we've talked about 3 different songs. I can do any of them. One that is sort of maybe my story a little bit is the title track of my 2023 record, Landmark. So right here we have I've never
I
done
was
vinyl
just
before.
I love
So
it. I was
I
just gonna ask you to talk about it real quick because I
Yeah,
forgot.
I could.
So
Well, I could do maybe New Mexico. Maybe New Mexico is my newest record from March, almost a year ago now already. I can't believe it. And I love that song too. Landmarks is sort of the story of me growing up, and I grew up on Long Island. Actually, I'm not a native Texan, so my dad bought this great big cabin cruiser, and our family spent a lot of time out on the water. And I remember when I was a kid, if I would ever get to go out on the boat with him alone, he would let me drive this big hulk, and he would point things out on land and help me know where we were, and just orient myself to understanding our little neck of the woods there. And I like to say when I play the song, I think he wanted to make sure. I come from a family of 5 children, so it was not often that I got to be on the boat alone with him, but that he wanted his kids to know where they were in the world, but more than that, he wanted us to be able to find our way home. And that's usually how I will introduce that song. And brought that memory into my friend Ava Paige, who at the time was 16. And I said, I want to write this song called Landmarks, and here's the story behind it. And her dad would take her out. They lived on a lake, and they'd go fishing too. And so she had her own furniture to help put in the song. And it was. It's funny because writing with somebody who's 16, I remember when I said something about a map, and she goes, "Well, we wouldn't use a map. We would use GPS." And I laugh now, and I go, "Well, when you sing it, you can say GPS. When I sing it, I'm going to say we didn't need a map." But it's just really funny how everybody's got their own stuff to bring to it, and I love that song, and it's one that I'll often open shows with because it sort of introduces my story.
all right,
You
let's
want me
hear
to
it.
do that?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you for
All
being
right.
here.
My father used to take me fishing, set off early in the morning with him, a bucket of minnows and a couple of poles. And he'd say, "See that beach, remember that island, that water tower, that line of pines, we don't need a map to get to that fishing hole. And those are the signs that'll guide us home. When you get away from what you know, feel a little lost and a lot alone. If the water's deep, the waves are getting high. When all you wanna do is turn around and retrace your steps to solid ground, you can find your way back from wherever you are by looking for the landmarks." Well, he was full of that kind of wisdom. I should have spent more time listening before I set my sails, untie the ropes. 'Cause I went so far out, lost sight of shore. Winds came up, blew me off course, ended up somewhere I never meant to go. When you get away from what you know, feel a little lost and a lot alone. If the water's deep, the waves are getting high. When all you wanna do is turn around and retrace your steps to solid ground, you can find your way back from wherever you are by looking for the landmarks. Oh, by looking for the landmarks. Like that welcome home front porch light, the Bible verse that comes to mind, the call from Mama asking, "Where have you been?" memories that make you turn around and retrace your steps to solid ground. You can find your way back from wherever you are, no matter how far, by looking for the landmarks, by looking for the landmarks.
Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Thank you, Julie. Thank you for having me today.
Love that song.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to be here with you. Okay.
I'm like sitting over here going, don't cry, don't cry.